can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Nina. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn they stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keeta. And expose to a cat like a cheetah.
All right, welcome in. We're live. Hey, there he is, Mitchell. My bad. I saw your message in Discord. He said, someone tell me it's 3 o'clock. My bad. I was sitting here, did not realize what time it was, but we are live. We're here. We got a lot to talk about. We got golf recap. We got NFL playoff recap. We got national championship tonight. We got NFL playoffs this weekend. We got a lot going on. First of all, if you're in the chat, let me know how you're doing. I'm trying to figure out, we might save golf and just talk about that tomorrow. We'll just talk NFL college football today, or else I'll be on here for 2 hours. So we got Dan Campbell about to lose to the Rams at home. Yeah. So all right, we'll talk NFL first here. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, I'll pull up the NFL moneyline predictor for these games. We got some good games. Browns, Texans, Eagles, Bucks, Steelers, Bills, Rams, Lions, Packers, Cowboys, Dolphins, Chiefs. That's the games we have on the docket here. Lot of good games this week. I think kind of just based off my early look at it, I don't really like any upsets though. I don't really like any upsets. We were so close to Watson versus, we're really close to Deshaun Watson in Houston for a playoff game. We did get the Mike McCarthy versus former team. We did get Matt Stafford going back to Detroit. Matt Stafford going back to Detroit is that's absolutely electric. And look, we have Matt Stafford going back to Detroit this week, and then we're a Browns and Bills win away. Well, I guess we're a Browns, Bills, and Chiefs win away from. And we have Tyreek going to Kansas City, Stafford going to Detroit, and we're the favorites in the AFC winning away from Flacco in Baltimore, which is just, Stafford in Detroit followed up the next week by Flacco in Baltimore that's just electric. Just so many big storylines here. So NFL play should be fun. I kind of like the Rams for an upset pick in that game, but it's close. I like this Detroit team. I think obviously LA's more experienced. They went on. A lot of guys. Obviously, Goff was on them the first time that they, went to the Super Bowl. But a lot of guys on that team still. Cooper Kupp. All those guys have been in playoff runs before. This is kind of the first taste of it that the Lions have gotten. Obviously, like I said, Goff has been there in a Super Bowl, but for the majority of the Lions team, they don't have a ton of experience here, especially, they didn't get in last year. I thought that would have been big for them to sneak in last year and get some experience. So we'll see what happens, but I do like how the Rams match up with them. Lions secondary has been really bad over the last few weeks, and I think they're going to have a really tough time slowing down Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So I lean Rams in that game. But that's really the only upset I like. A lot of people are going to be on Bucks over Eagles. I think that's going to be the chalky upset pick this week. But I just don't believe in this Tampa team. I don't think this Tampa team is very good. If Philly was playing any other team, I would be picking against Philly this week. It's just and I'm not saying Philly's been playing good. They've been really bad. There's no denying that. I mean, they look dead right now. But I don't believe in this Tampa team, even at home. If I think New Orleans is much scarier than Tampa. So if I was Philly, I would be just so thankful that they're not playing New Orleans, because I would be, if it was Philly in New Orleans, I would be picking the Saints 100%. I just don't believe in this Tampa team. I don't think they're that good. So we'll see. I could be wrong on that. Philly, I mean, they've lost to Arizona and the Giants the last 2 weeks. So uh, yeah, wouldn't shock me, I guess, if Tampa beat them. But I'm not a big believer in this Tampa team. We'll see what happens. I do like the Browns. You can see Browns are the top graded pick in our tool right now based off current odds. I do like the Browns to win over Houston just because Stroud's amazing, but rookie quarterbacks have struggled in their first playoff games. That is a fact. So I do like the Browns a little bit here. Bills should have no problem with the Steelers, especially if TJ Watt's out. I haven't seen anything on that. I think even if TJ Watt plays, there's no way that you could think he'll be 100%. So I don't think the Bills will have. Look, maybe the Steelers cover just because 10 points is a lot in a playoff game. Maybe the Steelers cover, but I think the Bills will win that game. And Cowboys should have no issues with the Packers. I like the Packers, liked them all season. I like what Jordan Love's done, but Cowboys at home are a different beast. So, and then that Saturday night game, Dolphins Chiefs. I don't know, man. I know the Chiefs have struggled this season as well, but man, Miami, they just haven't. I have not seen it from Miami. What good? Like you can say they beat Dallas. I don't have Dallas as like a top team. I think Dallas is an above average team. I don't think they're one of the best. That's really the only good win that the Dolphins have. I mean, they've gotten beaten by the Bills twice, one of which they got smoked on the road. They got smoked by Baltimore. I mean, anytime they've played a good team, they've just gotten dominated. And now they have to go on the road to KC. It's going to be cold, I would assume. Maybe not snowing, but I'm assuming it's going to be much colder than it is in Miami. So I don't know. I think KC wins that. I'm not a believer in this Dolphins team. I just don't think they just I have not seen it. I would be shocked if I haven't seen it from them all season against a good team and then they come out and just win 3 games in a row and get the Super Bowl. I would be really, really surprised. So let's just hope for the favorites to win. So we get Flacco in Baltimore next week. That's what we want. Let me look at the chat here. Only team that can beat the Ravens in the AFC is the Bills. I would say Bills and the Browns. The Browns just beat the Ravens the last time they played. And, it's a divisional opponent. Those games are always tough, even if it's in the playoffs. And Joe Flacco, very, very good road game playoff record. So I would say Browns and Bills are the only teams that can beat the Ravens. I think, look, to be quite honest with you guys, and if you're a longtime viewer of my content or this channel, I mean, you guys know I'm a huge Lamar fan. That was kind of my first CFS, all that stuff. He was a pretty late round fantasy pick. I was all in on him. Worked out, obviously. He's about to win his second MVP. I'm a big Lamar fan. I bet this Ravens team to win the Super Bowl before the season. I'm a big fan of this Ravens team. I think the Buffalo Bills are the scariest team in the AFC. If I was a team, I would much rather play Baltimore than Buffalo right now. I don't know. Buffalo's been red hot. They have a better quarterback, and I wouldn't really want to go to Buffalo and try and beat them. I would much rather play the Ravens. If you look at the Ravens are basically Lamar came out and said he felt rusty the last time he rested 2 weeks going into the playoffs. And then they chose to do it again. So you're going to get Lamar potentially rusty at least for the first drive or two in that game. And Buffalo's going to have been playing. They could be coming off here another win. I mean, they've been red hot. I think the Bills are the scariest team in the AFC, and I would not want to play them. I would rather play the Ravens. So I have a Browns to win the AFC ticket from a while ago at a pretty good number. I'm going to bet Bills to win the AFC at it's like plus 280. I should have bet it like 2 weeks ago, but I'm an idiot. So I'm gonna bet Bills and then hope to God the Browns can upset the Ravens and we get both teams in the AFC Championship game, and then it's a win no matter what is what I'm gonna try and do. Um, put up or shut up here from Lamar. Yeah, I agree. It's so like it's so random when you get into these playoffs, but I mean, at some point he is gonna have to like string some playoff wins together. I will say though, at least like they gave him a contract, so it's not like this is the last year of his deal, and like we're seeing what happens. So they'll be running it back next year regardless. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to fight the narratives if he loses. If they go one and done in the playoffs again after the number one seed, I definitely kind of agree with that. What about NFC side? Yeah, I mean, I think Niners are the clear. It's really, really hard for me to see how the 49ers don't go to the Super Bowl. I think that they're clearly the best team there. If I had to pick one team that I thought could upset the Niners, I honestly would probably pick the Rams. But maybe Detroit just has that magic and, they have a magical season and make a run, like maybe. But I mean, I think the 49ers would be sizable favorites over the Detroit Lions if they played a playoff game, in San Fran. I think they'd, at least be over field goal favorites. So I don't know. I think the Rams are the one team that could contest the 49ers. And that would be fun. McVay versus Shanahan for like a, big playoff game. That would be fun. We'll see what happens though. I'll have more content. I'll have a DFS video up this week, and we'll have some more content over towards the end of the week for the playoff stuff. What NFC teams could beat Ravens, Bills? Probably just 49ers. I would be picking 49ers over Ravens if it was a rematch in the Super Bowl. I would be on the Niners there. If it were 49ers Bills, I might be on Buffalo, to be quite honest with you. We'll see what happens. If it's 49ers Ravens, I will be on the Niners. If it's 49ers Bills, I'm probably will be on Buffalo. If it's 49ers Browns, God, I don't know. I'd probably be on San Fran. I don't know. I mean, the Browns already beat San Fran once this year. I don't know if they could beat them twice, although completely different situation now with Flacco. I don't know. This could just be like a Nick Foles type run from the Browns. I don't know. The answers we don't know right now. We can speculate. The answers will be given to us, this weekend and next weekend if we get Browns Ravens. We'll find out what's going to happen. But if the Browns beat the Ravens, maybe they just are that like team of destiny. I don't know. We'll see. But I still would be really, really tough, man. Would be really tough for the Browns to go on the road and knock off Baltimore and then have to go on the road and knock off Buffalo. I mean, man, that would be just a gauntlet. If they could go through that, I mean, that would be crazy. I don't know if I could really expect them to do that. Myles Garrett is a depoy. Yes, I agree with that. I see a lot of people argue depoy. They bring up stats like you can make stats say whatever you want. I mean, the fact of the matter is Myles Garrett gets double teamed more than anybody in the NFL, and he affects football plays more than pretty much anyone in the NFL. And that's taking nothing away from TJ Watt or Micah Parsons. TJ Watt's already won depoy. Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in the league. These are the facts, but nobody affects plays more than Myles Garrett on the field. All right, let's get into this college football game. National title, Michigan, Washington. And I think it's Michigan. Why would Harbaugh pick Raiders over Chargers? Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, obviously the Chargers are set up. They have a franchise quarterback. The Raiders do not. But maybe he wants to pick his own quarterback, I don't know. I mean, the Raiders are also like I feel like this can be said both ways because the Chargers have always disappointed. The Chargers are the Browns of the West Coast. They've always found ways to lose big games. They've always underwhelmed in the biggest moments. So it would be rewarding to take that job and lead the Chargers to like a victory for sure. But at the same time, restoring the Raiders, the Raiders are one of the cornerstone NFL franchises. Even though they're in Vegas now, it's not Oakland or whatever. Like the Raiders are one of the cornerstone NFL franchises. So restoring them to their rightful place as a prominent NFL power is also very rewarding. So I don't know. I guess it comes down to his pick because he'll probably be able to take whatever NFL job he wants of the open ones. So it comes down to his own preference, I guess. But I guess it comes down to whatever challenge he wants to take on. Maybe he wants to pick his own quarterback and try and do it that way. Are you playing any CFB showdown for the ship? I wish I could, Austin. For whatever reason, Ohio does not allow you to play college DFS. If I could play college DFS in Ohio, I would play it probably more heavily than I do NFL. But unfortunately, it's not allowed, and I don't know why. The laws are so like ticky tack with that stuff. I can play NFL, but I can't play college. I can bet on college, but I can't play college DFS. I have no idea why it's like that, but if I could, I definitely would be playing tonight. But I think it's Michigan tonight. I think that, and look, I was on Washington last week to beat Texas. I thought they matched up well with Texas. Texas was very, very good. Texas has a very, very good defensive line, very, very leaky secondary. So just common sense would say that Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, like those guys are going to be able to have success against a bad secondary. Now, I will also say Washington was running the ball way too much last week. Just boneheaded play calling from them last week. They dominated the game and almost lost because of just timely bad play calling and just bad coaching decisions. So that's my look on that. But I was on Washington last week, and I'm definitely on Michigan here. I think Michigan has all the advantages matchup wise. I think Michigan has a big advantage coaching wise. They're much better coached. Taking nothing away from DeBoer and what he's done with that team, but Jim Harbaugh, much better coach. I have much more faith in Michigan's play calling. Like Michigan is not going to just make dumb play calling decisions. Like when last week when Washington throws like immediately after like a 60-yard pass, they just run it 4 times in a row. What like I'm not pretending to say that I'm an NFL play caller or college football play caller, whatever, or offensive coordinator. This is just common sense. You could ask anybody watching the game, common sense, that you're playing the best defensive line, arguably in the country. Why are you running the ball 4 straight times when you have the best wide receiver room in the country? So I don't think Michigan's going to make dumb mistakes like that. I think they have a better coaching setup. They have better matchup advantages. Michigan is probably the best defense that Washington's faced all year. In fact, they are like statistically for sure. Oregon, I thought was going to play good against Washington in that Pac-12 title game. And they just didn't. But this is definitely the best defense that Washington's seen, specifically in terms of like a pass rush. Texas, very, very good defensive line in terms of run stopping, but I don't think they're as good pass rush as this Michigan team is. I think they're going to be able to get to Penix, and their secondary is definitely not as leaky as Texas is. Now, that's not to say you can't have success when you have Rome Odunze and Jalen Polk and McMillan. These guys, like, certainly they can have some success. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 121 yards against Michigan a few weeks ago, but that's also Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the best receiver in the country. He's going to get his kind of regardless of who they're playing. So I think it's the best defense Washington's seen. And, this is the narrative out there. Like, obviously you'll hear this other places, but it is a huge mismatch in terms of Michigan being able to run the ball and Washington's lack of run defense. Michigan's game is running the football. Like, they don't want JJ McCarthy, regardless of how good JJ McCarthy is, or how well he's played or the fact that he's led them to the national title, regardless of all that, they don't want him to have to pass the ball 40 times. If they can just hand the ball off to Blake Corum 25 times and get out of there, that's what they want to do. And that's what they're going to do tonight. Blake Corum, there's a reason that his rushing prop is as high as it is. He hasn't even gone over his rushing props over 100 yards. He hasn't even really beat that. He's beat it like twice all season, but it's that high because they're going to run the football tonight. They're going to be able to run the football tonight. So really, really good matchup for Michigan. If they can run the football and keep Penix off the field as much as they can, that's obviously an advantage for them as well. So I think just stylistically in terms of football, it's a great matchup for them. Coaching wise, great matchup for them. Michigan's much better coached. They're not going to make dumb mistakes. So I do like Michigan here. I'll be tweeting my full card out after this stream, but I'm going to be on Michigan here. All the Blake Corum stuff, like touchdown, like all that. Michigan to cover 2.5. That's probably fine. I don't know about the total. Like, I'm not sold on like an over here because if Michigan, dominates TOP and just runs the ball, I don't know how much scoring that there will be. I do think you could mess around with some Michigan alt stuff. It's not. This is not a Georgia TCU scenario from last year. This is not that, but I think you could alt Michigan up to maybe 9.5 or 13.5. I think you could do something like that. It's not a situation where you're taking like a Georgia minus, 27.5 like we were last year, but I do think you could maybe get Michigan up to like 9.5. It's probably like plus 160, plus 170. I would be fine with that. I don't see Michigan winning a close game. I tweeted this earlier, but I think Michigan's going to win big easily, or Washington's going to win. So if you're on here and you're in the chat, you really like Washington, I would recommend just taking the money line plus 170. Don't mess around with the 4.5, 5 points, whatever it is. And it's been a big trend this bowl season also is dogs that cover have won outright. So if you're on Washington tonight, I would recommend just taking the money line. Don't mess with the points. Just take that plus 170. But definitely on Michigan here. Is Mike McCarthy the only playoff coach on the hot seat? Yeah, Browns, I would say Stefanski. Let me pull this up. Stefanski's not on the hot seat. He's going to win Coach of the Year. I don't think McDermott's on the hot seat. Dan Campbell's not on the hot seat. Andy Reid's not on the hot seat. Mike McDaniel's not on the hot seat. I don't think LaFleur's on the hot seat. Don't think McVay's on the hot seat. McVay's just like when McVay's done, he'll retire and they'll get a new coach. I don't see any situation where like he's getting fired. Todd Bowles, maybe. I would say Bowles, maybe. Sirianni, maybe. Mike Tomlin's not. Even McCarthy, I feel like he was more on the hot seat prior to the season than he is right now. He's kind of addressed his issues. Like they had a good season. Now, if they go 1-done in the playoffs, if they lost as touchdown favorites to Green Bay, then he would be back on that hot seat. Yes, but I'll say he's not really on there right now unless they lose. So I would say really just that Philly Tampa game, I could see both those coaches being on the hot seat. Sirianni, I can't to come from where Philly was last year, losing the Super Bowl by a field goal, losing the Super Bowl because Jalen Hurts lost a fumble. To now, I'm talking about maybe Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat. That's actually insane. That's an insane fall off over the last like 10 weeks for the Philadelphia Eagles. Can't believe we're talking about that, but it's Philly. If they lose to Arizona, New York, and then they get bounced first round of the playoffs to Tampa, you best bet Nick Sirianni's on that hot seat in Philadelphia. They will not stand for that over there. Any touchdown picks for tonight? Yeah, I mean, Corum's like the obvious one. He's minus 400. You're not betting that straight. I would bet Corum touchdown. I'd pair it with Michigan money line, or if you don't want to bet Michigan money line, Stephanie, what's up? You can pair Corum touchdown with one of the NFL teams you like this weekend. You can do that. I do like Jeremy Bernard from Washington, long shot touchdown. Really, really like him. Obviously, he's their fourth receiver, considering they have Odunze, Polk, McMillan. But we saw him get a little bit involved last week against Texas. I think he's really good. I mean, he's gonna set the Big Ten on fire next year with him taking on a bigger role with like Odunze gone. So I like Jeremy Bernard. You could get him like 6-1 anytime touchdown. I think maybe we get a situation where Michigan, goes up a couple touchdowns and Washington's just pulling out all stops to try and get back in the game, and they are looking for a spark. So I do like Jeremy Bernard to maybe score a touchdown at 6-1 odds. So maybe that's my long shot. But other than that, I mean, it's just obvious. It's Blake Corum for sure. Who gets Ben Johnson? I don't know. I mean, I was assuming like the Panthers wanted him because they wanted him last year, and they didn't get him. They went with Frank Reich. They wanted him last year, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I kind of felt like the Chargers would go more defensive because they have Kellen Moore. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with the Chargers. We'll have to see what happens. I actually have no idea. It's going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see who goes to Atlanta. And I mean, I tweeted this like last week, but I am all in. We are starting the hype train. Someone get Michael Penix Jr. to Atlanta, please. Please. Please get Penix to Atlanta. We need a competent offensive mind on the Falcons with Michael Penix, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. It's not hard. That supporting cast, you should have a top 8 offense. This shouldn't even be a debate. You should have one of the best offenses in the NFL if you have those guys healthy for the majority of a season. So please, for the love of God, get someone that knows what they're doing to Atlanta. Get them Michael Penix and just get the ball in those guys' hands and let them go to work. It's not that complicated. What the Bears are going to do, I think, is interesting. I still think they should keep Fields. I know they didn't win their game yesterday. They should keep Fields, take Marvin Harrison, trade down. I still think that's what they should do. There's Bears fans that don't want to do that. I don't know what the offensive line. Why would you think that just 1-for-1 swapping out Fields for Caleb Williams? Why do you think that would make your team better? I generally I don't know what these Bears fans watch. Why would swapping that out 1-for-1 just make your team better? I don't even understand. Who is even to say Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields? Justin Fields was a top draft pick. Justin Fields had a great college career. Who is to say that Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields? So I don't know. I still think they should keep Fields, draft Marvin Harrison, and see what happens. But I don't know. If they move on from Fields, then I would say get Fields to Atlanta. But I want Penix to go there really bad. That would just be so fun. Michael Penix in Atlanta with those guys would just be awesome to watch. And I like Penix. I want him to go to a decent situation. I don't want him to go somewhere where like a horrible team where he has to like do everything as a young quarterback. I hate that. So please get Penix to Atlanta or somewhere with like some competent weapons, please, and let him go to work. If you guys have any questions on anything tonight, like I said, full card will be posted on Twitter. It's already up in Discord, but there's one other play I'm going to add to that. So I'm going to tweet that when I get off here. We didn't get to talk golf today, so if you guys haven't tapped in, I'll be posting free golf bets on Twitter and on the stream for every tournament this year. I recapped every bet I put out for the first tournament of the year yesterday. Positive in the green, plus 1.5 units on the golf tournament. We have more golf this week. It's not a big tournament yet. The Sony, I mean, it's a decent field, but a couple weeks from now, we'll be getting into the big tournaments. And I think, which I posted in Discord today, I think I'm going to swap out the cash process, which obviously is an NFL. We're going to transfer that. And at least for the bigger tournaments, I'll probably do like a golf video, and it'll be hybrid like DraftKings and betting. Like we'll just talk about the golf tournament. So that will be up hopefully in the coming weeks when we get to these bigger tournaments. I can't remember what the first big tournament is, but that'll be up. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any further questions, you can tweet me, reach out to me. If you want to hop in the Discord, betkarma.com/pricing. If you want a promo code, message me. I'll hook you up with that. Good luck with your wagers tonight. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.